It started with a glance, the kind that lingers a little too long to be casual. I was standing under the dim lights of the campus cafe, clutching a cup of hot chocolate, when she walked in. Aria, the new girl from the literature department. She had that quiet kind of beauty, messy curls, an oversized sweater, and eyes that held both curiosity and calm. Our eyes met, and just for a second, the world outside the window, the drizzle, the chatter, the flicker of neon signs all faded away. It was just her and me. "Is this seat taken?" she asked, her voice soft but confident. I shook my head, a small smile finding its way to my lips. Not anymore. From that moment, something shifted. We talked for hours that night about books, love, fear, and the strange way the universe seems to push people together. She told me she believed in small miracles. I told her I didn't, but somehow, she made me want to. Weeks turned into a beautiful blur. We became inseparable. Movie nights, late-night study sessions, long walks that stretched until dawn. Aria had this incredible way of turning ordinary moments into poetry. When she laughed, it felt like the air itself got warmer. When she spoke, even silence seemed to listen. But real love, the kind that changes you, always sneaks up quietly. It happened during a thunderstorm. We were in my apartment, the lights flickering as rain roared against the glass. Aria was sitting cross-legged on my couch, reading aloud from her favorite novel. Suddenly, the power went out. The world went dark, except for the faint, warm glow of the candles we'd lit earlier. Her voice faded. "Guess that's the universe telling us to stop reading." I laughed nervously, tucking a loose strand of hair behind my ear. The air between us was thick, charged, just like the storm outside. She looked at me, her eyes shimmering in the candlelight. "Can I tell you something?" she whispered. I nodded, my heart starting to race. I don't think I've ever felt this way before. Not with anyone. Time stopped. My heart was pounding like thunder. She reached out, her fingers gently brushing my cheek. "You make me feel safe." I could barely breathe. "Aria." And then she kissed me. It wasn't a rushed kiss. It was slow, trembling, and honest. Her lips were warm and soft, tasting faintly of vanilla and rain. I felt everything, every heartbeat, every breath, every unspoken word we'd been holding back for weeks. Her hand slid behind my neck, pulling me closer. I melted into her, the world outside dissolving into nothing but the rhythm of our hearts beating as one. When we finally pulled apart, the silence was heavy but sweet. She rested her forehead against mine. "All I need," she whispered, her voice barely audible, "is your embrace." The words wrapped around me like a promise, like the warmest blanket. And in that moment, I knew she was right. After that night, we stopped pretending. Morning coffees turned into lazy cuddles in bed, and secret smiles in crowded hallways became open affection. The world outside didn't always understand. We got stares, we heard whispers, but with her arms around me, none of it mattered. We were in our own little world, and it was perfect. We'd find these small, perfect pockets of peace, watching sunsets from the library roof, dancing barefoot in my room to no music at all, tracing little hearts on fogged-up windows after a storm. Every kiss still felt like the first one, gentle, searching, and completely, utterly real. But the most beautiful part wasn't the kisses. It was the quiet moments in between. When she'd hold me close with no words, no explanations, just the steady comfort of her warmth. It was the profound realization that love doesn't need anyone's permission to exist. It just does. One night, months later, we were standing by the river. The city lights shimmered on the dark water, and a soft wind brushed past us. Aria looked at me with that same gentle, knowing gaze from the cafe, the one that started it all. "You know," she said softly, "I used to think love was something you had to chase, something you had to fight for. Now I know it's something you just fall into like this." She leaned in, her lips brushing mine again, slow, deep, and filled with everything we never had to say out loud. And in that moment, wrapped in her arms, with the city breathing around us, I knew. I didn't need a promise of forever or grand, sweeping gestures. All I ever needed was her embrace. Hey everyone, thanks for being here and listening to our story. It means the world to us. You know, studies show that over 90% of people watching right now aren't subscribed. If this story touched you, hitting that subscribe button is the best way to support us and hear more. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.